Buddy Gio Seti back at you today. You're there. I'm here. Breeders' Cup is now 5 days away as I record this on a very crisp, beautiful autumn morning here in the great state of Jersey. All right, so today, let's talk about moving forward with our wages. Daily doubles, pick threes, pick fours, pick fives, and if you're so inclined, which I don't really play, I don't think many play anymore, the pick six that's available. So let's talk about game planning this, and this comes into play throughout the year with most full card approaches, big days, small days, but especially important on days like Breeders' Cup Friday and Championship Saturday. So we have 14 races. We know the fields are going to be strong. We know they're going to be deep in terms of the amount of entries. Maybe a couple of exceptions, but for the most part, they're all going to have 10 or more horses in a race. Some will have 12 or 13, even 14 at times. But with that said, you want to develop a game plan more so in your overall grade of handicapping, knowing that there is a sequence, a double sequence, a pick three sequence, pick four or pick five sequence, that you know you're going to be betting stronger than the others. Now, the Breeders' Cup, we all know, is not only enjoyable, but the races are continuous. So you're going to have opportunity after opportunity, especially when you think of the daily double and pick threes, because they roll. You could pick a sequence of two races and crush the double, and in the same sequence, you could pick three races and crush the pick three. Now, from a betting perspective, and I only mention those two, of course, the obvious, because there are limited pick four or pick five opportunities. But part of your game plan is to know beforehand how much of your capital that you have available. Now, the beautiful thing is when you win early, like for example, Juvenile Friday, if you win early, literally the first couple races, then automatically your capital increases. But at the end of the day, you want to be able to manage things so if you have and absorb some real bad beats, and they've happened to all of us on Juvenile Friday, that you still have the ability to wager as you need to according to your game plan on Saturday. All right? All grade ones, all championship races. That's the beauty of the Breeders' Cup, or like a huge card on Kentucky Derby Day at Churchill, Belmont Stakes Day, and so on, because you know there's going to be a series of high-level quality stakes races rather than a regular day at the track where you may say to yourself, okay, the late sequence is where I'm going to bet. I'm going to be intentionally conservative early on. All right? Gabish so far? So here's what I'm recommending in an approach. Let's talk about daily doubles first. Daily doubles have been around since the beginning of time. Back in the day, for you older folks that are in my generation, you could remember late 70s, 80s, there was one daily double. It was at the end of the day. And then they created an early daily double, which was races 1 and 2. So you only had races 8 and 9, and then they moved on forward and made it 1, 2. Now, obviously, throughout the industry, we have rolling doubles. So first rule of thumb is understand, and those who are in my corner will know what I'm saying about my win probability percentage. You cap a race. You know who you deem as contenders in the race. But ultimately, you're going to land on your strongest horse and then probably two of the higher level contenders, which make your top three. Now, in a daily double, that's really important to know. I do not believe in, I see this sometimes, and again, I cringe because there's so many losing bets by default. You don't play doubles like this. You don't play 3x3 or 4x3 just to hit the double. It's counterproductive in a lot of ways. I can understand leaning on one horse and playing it with your top two in the next race, and on occasion, a saver for your third horse, but you don't go deep in daily doubles. Would I support someone going 2x2 under certain circumstances, especially if your anticipation for an overlay, or based on your determination, you feel that the horses that you're choosing will be at inflated odds? And remember, it's not just by what's listed by the morning line. Remember, the morning line, which I have respect for, track morning line makers, because they know how to handicap, but that's still their opinion. Just because a horse is listed 20-1 on the morning line, it may not be 20-1 for you. It may be 50-1, or it may be 5-1. So only you know what you're looking for in terms of the anticipated price. Excuse me. And then conversely, if someone's got a morning line at 3-1 or 5-2, and morning lines come into play in multi-race wagering, doubles, pick threes, pick fours, and pick five. The reason for that, because not a lot of people dig down deep like Mr. Setti and handicap. So what they do when they create a sequence, they say, okay, I'm going to play this pick five. And in that sequence, in all the races, I'm going to use the favorite, morning line favorite, and maybe the second choice, and I'll work from there. I don't work like that, all right? I want to determine who I feel the favorite's going to be, and so on. But if you're limited with time, you can use that as a guide, because for the most part, the horse that's listed as the favorite or the second favorite on the morning line is in generally good form, all right? And deserving of those, listed credentials, if you will. So daily doubles, I love them. So 14 races in the Breeders' Cup, 5 Friday, 9 Saturday. The opportunities are limitless. So to be honest with you, I'm not sure I'm going to play rolling doubles throughout, but there are going to be 4 or 5 sequences of daily double based on my win probabilities and what I anticipate on the board that I'm going to lean into those doubles more than I will others. In some races, I won't play a double because I'm strong on a win end and I'm playing strong underneath, exacta, triple, and superfecta. So I want that race to settle. I'm not going to carry over to a double, but maybe I'll carry over to the pick 3, which I'm going to get at right now. So last thing on daily doubles, you want to be able to anticipate what your double will pay based on a $2 wager, or if you want to use $1 wager, you can. So if you're betting a $10 double, you're getting 10 times the dollar payout. Let's talk about pick threes. Now, pick threes, like daily doubles, the opportunities are limitless. They roll throughout. It's a beautiful thing. So if you have a sequence where you have 2 horses who you believe are at a level of high probability, then you could do a pick 3 sequence, 1x1x3, or 2x2x3. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't spread in doubles, but in a pick 3, it's nice to have a single and maybe a 2 deep. And your third race could either be a 2 deep or a 3 deep. But you know what else Mr. Setti does? What do I always say? If I'm right precisely, I'm getting paid. My first bet is going to be top choice, top choice, top choice. Even for a deuce, a cup of coffee. So if I have that pick 3 for $2, top, that's already been booked. Now in that same sequence, because I can lose a photo, I can have a bad trip, I can have a bad break, something can happen. I'll have a second pick 3 in that sequence. Of course, using my 3 tops, but also going 2 by 3 by 3 or 3 by 2 by 3, whatever you're inclined to do based on your budget. Remember, you got to break because you can maneuver a little with pick 3s because the minimum wager amount, I believe, is 50 cents. I'm pretty sure it is. Del Mar could be $1 on a big day, but I'm pretty sure it's 50 cents. So you get what I'm saying. You have more opportunity for coverage. But remember, money management, your bankroll, your overall capital, very essentially important. And obviously, if you're rolling and having a great day, for example, the beginning of Juvenile Friday, you're going to have more capital to work with. And I always believe rally behind your capital. Don't get conservative if you have their money, because the whole idea here is to have a big day. Obviously, at the end of the day, you want your ROI to be plus the amount of money that you wagered or the amount of money that you started with. This is what I got left at the end of the day. We all want to be in the profit. We've all been on both sides of the fence too. So let's go to pick 4s and pick 5s. Now, pick 4, to be honest with you, I've done this a lot of times. If I play a pick 5, and by the way, you could call me mental, but even on my pick 5 tickets, before my structured ticket, I'm playing a SETI cold pick 5. And yes, I've hit them before. Top. $1. $1. That's all it is. You can't even get a cup of coffee these days for that. So after I go with my cold pick 5, obviously that's not going to be my only pick 5. I like to keep my pick 5 wages based on a 50-cent mutual in 4 categories. $18, $27, $36, or $54. It's very rare that I go above $54 in a pick 5. Now, just to give you a flavor, and I've shared this before, a $54 ticket gives you the opportunity within the 5 races to go 2 deep twice and 3 deep 3 times. So you got a little comfort there. Now, sure, in 10, 11, 12, 13 horse fields, it's not an easy thing. You got to be confident in your capital. What I don't believe in, I don't believe in these crazy mentalized cowboy tickets. 5 by 4 by 4 by 2 by 5. You know, to me, that demonstrates a lack of confidence. They want more chances to win, and they probably have a lot more money to bet with, but it's senseless to spend $300-400 on a pick 5 ticket, even if you're loaded, because there's so many other ways to disperse your money in wagering, which I'm going to get to right now. So within the sequence. So in the pick 5, I like doing either 2 by 2 by 2, 3, 3, whichever, it doesn't mean in that structured order. Depends on the races. Now, if I have a strong horse who I deem as an 85% win probability, and whether he's going to be favored or not, I won't hesitate to single him. Because if you are defiant and really confident, all in on a horse within that sequence, not only do you have him in your cold pick 5, but it's a beautiful thing when you could single a horse. And don't be intimidated by the odds on the board. I hate when some people say, they look at it, they didn't do any handicapping, oh, the horse is going to be 3 to 5, I'm singling him. You can't take that for granted. Why is he going to be 3 to 5? Because the morning line maker has him at 7 to 5, and the public's going to bet that, and now he's going to be 3 to 5. Yeah, you could single him if that's who you land on. You have to know if it's a favorite that's vulnerable, or if he's going to be an underlay. Listen, isn't it a beautiful thing when everybody in the pool is on the favorite, and you're saying, you know what? Don't like him. I'm not even going to use him. That's confidence, okay? So, yes, when I said those increments of 18, 27, 36, and 54, you play around with your ticket and you'll see. But for the most part, the deepest I ever go in a pick five sequence would be 4 deep in one race. And that's because I have a single and the others are 3 or less. Gabish? All right. So more importantly, because I can, listen, I've hit numerous pick fives. I haven't hit the high note. I haven't gotten that pick five, that's 6 figures, which I'll tell you one quick story. I didn't sleep for a week. It was right before Christmas last year. Turfway Park, Kentucky, on a synthetic. I had a pick five ticket. Believe it or not, within the sequence, I had a $90 winner and a $60 winner and a $20 winner. I was alive into the 5th leg. You know who had the only 2 tickets in existence to take the whole pool? Mr. Setti. They were $155,000 for both my horses. What happened? One of my horses scratches at the gate, a first-time starter. Okay, what happens? They give me the 4 to 5 favorite, who, believe it or not, was the extreme outside horse. So now I have $155K for one of my horses. My other horse, who scratched at the gate, that play went over to the favorite. So that particular pick five was diminished to 50,000 plus. I thought, you know what? Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. I'll either hit the home run with the 155K, or if the 4 to 5 favorite wins, 50K. It's still a Merry Christmas for me because this was 2 weeks before Christmas. What happens? Happens to us all. I went 4 out of 5. The favorite runs second. And I didn't even have intense action because the horse that won by like 5 or 6 lengths. So the reason why I'm bringing up that story, yes, I've hit a lot of pick fives. Haven't hit the high note, but dozens and dozens between 800 and $3,000, which are nice too, especially when you're only spending $36 or $54. But my point I'm making with pick fives, and trust me, fellas and ladies and gentlemen, in the Breeders' Cup, there's so much competition. So many things can happen on the turf or on the dirt, and bad trips are very common. So even if you're spot on, you've done so many things right, you still could be in a position to tear up your ticket. So one of the things I promote all the time, within your pick five sequence, you gotta play a strong double and a strong pick three. Because if you nail your double or nail your pick three, within that sequence, it already finances the cost of your pick five ticket. A beautiful thing. So you're basically free rolling the pick five. So that day at Turfway, I didn't come up empty-handed. I hit the double because of the prices of my horses was huge. If I can remember correctly, it was like $700 and change on a $2 double. Because I had some bombs in there. And that wasn't a big ticket. That pick five ticket was a $36 ticket. And into the 5th leg, I'm sitting on 2 shots at $155K. One gets scratched at the gate. I still have a shot for the horse that replacing the favorite, and he runs second. Never forget that. I didn't sleep for a while because when you're this close and you don't get there, my God, right? So, Breeders' Cup, Friday and Saturday, think and remember to play a double or a pick three within your pick five sequence that you're strongest about. Your best opinion is there. If you feel like the prices are likely to be short prices, then you got to go for a 2 or 3 time double or pick three. If you're limited with your capital, then keep it conservative. Remember, this game is only fun when you use discretionary monies bills are paid, through and through, car payment, your mortgage, your rent, food bill. Don't go eating beans and hot dogs for 2 weeks because you funded your Breeders' Cup wagering. Eat well. Those who follow me know that I have a passion for food and drink. I always eat well. Good day or bad day at the track, I eat well. All right, so there we have it. Hopefully this show, you took something out of it. Doubles, pick threes, pick fours, and pick fives. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing on pick four. I'm gonna drive you crazy. I'm sorry. The pick four, when I get ousted out of my pick five, say I lose the first leg, say I went too deep, I was strong about them, and I got beat at the wire, or I was a length back, and I got beat. So my pick five is dead in the woods. I am going to recover that. It's not like I'm chasing, but that gives me an open opportunity because I'm confident about my work. I'm going to turn that into a brand new pick four if I get ousted in the first race of the pick five. And again, I'm going to throw a buck on or $2 on it cold. That's how I approach pick fours. I don't play them often. I usually get involved in the pick four if I get ousted in the first leg of a pick five. All right, so doubles, pick threes, pick fours, pick fives, and pick sixes, we don't need to talk about because you know what? If you're so inclined, go ahead, go for it. But the reason why I don't, because pick fives are just ultra popular. The pools are big already. As often I've gone 4 out of 5 and lost pick fives, the energy towards a pick six, and I played them before, and the only ones I ever hit, because I don't play them often, were generally small, and I never put a big ticket in. I'm just not a big believer of those crazy tickets, Save your money, be smart, win. Exactas, triples, superfecta keys, triple keys. If you're so inclined, I have one of my followers, you know what he does all day long? Is his Geo. Jesus Christ, your top choice, regardless whether he's 2-1 or 22-1, he's in the money all the time, 80% of the time in the money. He bets the show. He enjoys the races and he bets a nice bet to show all the time. These people write to me. Hey, it's conservative, but it's still horse racing if that's your thing. I'm an exotics player, and I take my shots where I need to on a win end. All right? All right, guys. Saturday, God bless you. God bless your families. Have a great Saturday if you're playing Keeneland. I have a show up there on this channel. Grade 3 race at Keeneland. If you haven't watched, have a cup of coffee and watch it. Thanks for watching, and let me know in the comments what you feel. The more I hear from you guys, and the more people that subscribe to this channel, the more engaged I will be in providing content for you. And the only purpose is to use my experience to help every one of you become more successful at the windows. Because you know what? We are who we are. And I've been at this since the very first Breeders' Cup. Uno. So every single Breeders' Cup since I have been involved with, I've handicapped. Digest that. It's not 10 years, it's not 20 years, it's not 30 years. I think it's 42 years. All right? I'll see you real soon. Thanks for watching.